The DJI Action 5 Pro with ND filters. Do you need them? What are they for? What is the application? Let's jump right into it. So basically ND filters, which is basically little sunglasses for your lenses, right? These are specifically for the DJI Action 5 Pro, but what are they for? It allows the photographer to use a larger aperture without letting too much light into the lens. It helps create motion blur. It helps create different cinematic things you would want to do. Let's be real, we're not just throwing these on our camera like we're 14 years old on the new iMac in photo booth using the sepia filter. You're not trying to use a filter, you use these for a purpose, and I'm about to show you why. So if I go and set my settings on my camera and I change the exposure to a longer exposure, say a 2-second exposure, right? It's gonna allow too much light to get into the camera. So when you're filming and your preview on your screen with the DJI, it's gonna look very white and it's gonna be way overexposed. But if you throw one of these on, it allows you to change basically the whole white thing and basically make it look normal again or make it look cool. So with this, you can get cool cinematic like time lapses. For instance, there's a big difference between a normal time lapse you set your tripod on, especially if you're like driving through traffic or going somewhere. There's a whole bunch of different types of time lapses, but this one in particular, like you can get that motion blur where you're driving and you get that real nice motion blur where it looks like you're going very fast, and it adds a little bit of effect to your video. So if you want to step your game up in time lapses, you like time lapses, try this out for sure. So right now, these are like the normal ones that I bought. It comes in a little pack. I think these are the brand newer. I'll link them down below off Amazon. I'm of course going to give you guys before and afters and applications and examples in this video. But here I got the CPL ND8, ND16, ND32. So obviously they have polarizing effects, so when it comes to reflection, say you're filming over water, you're filming into your car, you don't want the reflection of the glass of the water, throw one of these on. It should eliminate at a pretty decent level, depending on which one you use, that reflection. So if I'm filming myself in a car, if it's middle of the day, you're gonna see just a reflection of the camera looking at the windshield. But if you throw one of these on, then you'll actually be able to see me, and it gets rid of that reflection. Same with over water, same principle, You'll get the actual color of the water, everything. You'll actually be able to see the water instead of just seeing a giant reflection. So I think that can help in certain aspects or certain situations. What I got here just came in the mail today. This is the Freewell ND1000. This is meant for long exposure. So you put this on when you want to set your camera to a very long exposure. And why would you want to put your camera in long exposure? Let me tell you why. You put your camera in long exposure to get cool shots, okay? Motion blur. You want to film a stoplight. Here's a picture of that. It looks cool. You get like gradient of the light, and there's different effects you can do with this. And actually, upon a request on my last video, they told me to do a test with long exposure photos. So I'll give some long exposure photo examples in this video. I'll also do long exposure videos with this video, but this is the neutral density ND1000 filter by Freewell. Let's see if we can focus in on that. I'll link this down below. This is 20 bucks off Amazon. Kind of expensive. Maybe not. Maybe to you it is. I don't know. But this is specifically meant for long exposure. So we're going to try this out. And so in my opinion, if you're just now getting into filming, you may want to just kind of mess with your camera settings as is and just go from there. But if you've been filming for a little bit and you want to like up your game a little bit, yeah, I definitely recommend with this, especially with motion blur. So with motion blur, what you need to do is set your exposure to a higher setting. So in this camera, which I'm going to show you, you can set it to every different fraction of a second, and if you keep scrolling, you'll be able to get to 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I think it goes all the way to 30 seconds of exposure time. So what that does is allows light to come in the lens for that amount of time before the photo or the image is taken from the camera. But when you do that in the daytime and it's bright outside, your picture is going to look white. So what you need to do is put basically a sunglass, one of these, on your camera to dim it down. Because if you just wanted to do a filter on your video, you can just do everything in auto and just go and put a filter on your video if you want to make it look like that. But I think basically these filters are meant for way more than just, you know, oh, I want a cool filter on my video. You know, use it for cinematic cool stuff, dude. Especially this guy, ND1000, meant for long exposure. Long exposure does give you that cinematic motion blur that you want. If you don't know what motion blur is, it's when you move real fast and it looks blurry instead of filming it. If I film this at 120 frames a second, it looks very smooth, okay? So the difference, say I'm snowboarding and I'm going down the mountain on my snowboard, I film in 30 frames a second, it's going to look like I'm going faster because the ground, you'll see the contours in the ground and the snow moving by in a blurry fashion, making it look like I'm going faster. If I filmed it in 120 frames a second, it makes the video look so smooth. It looks good and it has its own purpose in certain situations, right? But if I film me going down the mountain at 120 frames a second, I'm going to look like I'm going slower because it's capturing so many more frames a second, so many more images a second to make the video look way more smooth. So I can be going 40 miles an hour, but in the video I look like I'm going 5. So you want to film in a lower frame per second rate if you want to make the video have that effect of, hey, we're going fast. Especially with the one I showed you earlier, this one again. Like, I look like I'm going fast, and it gives that real cool little psychedelic look when you're filming like that. So let's just get outside and jump into the meat and potatoes of this stuff. This is the free well. I'll leave this link down below, like I said. ND1000 filter. Let's get it on. You see how much darker that just made it? And I go and take it off. Unusable. Too dark. Very exposed. The ND1000 was too strong. We're gonna go with the ND8 right here. Let's see how this does. That helps a lot. So with the ND8, let me show you. Overexposed white, you can't see nothing. I think that's a good color gradient. You know, use your eyes. So I'd go here and you get that good motion blur, okay? So I would go and take this, and this is what I use to film that time lapse, where you get that good motion blur. But if it's even brighter than it is now, right now we're heading toward golden hour, go with the stronger ND filter. I recommend try ND16. I think ND16 is where a lot of people should start. So let me get that on just, oh my gosh, I dropped it. Oh my gosh. Do not drop your ND filters. ND16, let's see how this looks. This is actually really good. So basically what you can get a better motion blur with this and be good. And once it gets toward nighttime, I don't live next to like a running river or a waterfall, or I can get really good long exposed photos, but I'll give you some examples here on the screen just to tell you guys like what you can possibly do. I'm gonna give you my examples that I can get here. I live in the middle of nowhere, so, but I think this looks really good. So that's kind of the point of an ND filter, is when you set your camera settings to the point where too much light is getting in, you need to dim down the photo. We're not 14, we're not trying to put the sepia filter on photo booth and try to make the video look cooler. I guess you could do that, but come on, like there's a reason why these things are made. It's for a larger aperture for photographers. So check this out, I'm gonna do a little demonstration. You see it gives it that motion blur, which can cause a cinematic effect if you're trying to get that effect, you know, and I think that's why these ND filters are made, so you can set those shutter speeds, exposure, and all that stuff to different settings to the point where your video is unusable at first, but then you throw a sunglass on top of it and boom, it's usable. Now who are ND filters for? It's for the people trying to up their content creating. It's for the people, you know, trying to up their game with filming, videography, whatever you want to call it. You know, but if you're the person that just wants to vlog, you're not doing anything crazy, you're literally just like filming yourself and just talking, basically, maybe doing a couple panoramas in your shot, like I think this camera on full auto will get the job done. You can always color grade post-production and you should be fine. But what I do recommend is instead of keeping the white balance on full auto, I would get to the place where you're filming and then I would go into the white balance settings and then I would lock it into manual and click confirm. That's what I would do. And if the time of day starts changing, I would go and reset. Or you can just keep it on full auto. Honestly, it really just depends how crazy you want to get with it. But who the ND filters I feel like are for, people trying to up their game, add cool little cinematic shots in their video and trying to make better videos, you know? And the reason why I'm saying is to lock in your white balance is because when you go back and color grade, so you want everything to be really consistent. So it keeps it very consistent unless you're in a place where the lighting's changing constantly. If you're about to hit sunset, you know, you may want to keep it in auto, but say you're filming midday for like an hour long. You don't want the camera, if there's like a shadow that goes by, your camera getting dimmer and lighter depending on your circumstance because the sensor is reading it, right? So when you go back and color grade, it can make your colors look a little too dark, a little too light, you know, because you got that inconsistency of the white balance. So that's why I say lock it in. So here are some examples of ND filters, their applications, and what they can do, who they are for. They're the person trying to get that effect. They're the person reaching out to up their game. They're reaching out to, you know, produce that content. What do I say? What is the word, dude? But if you're not looking to get crazy with it, you just want to vlog, dude, this camera's awesome to take snowboarding, hiking, anywhere. It's so compact and versatile. Like, you can take it anywhere. It's easy to pack, easy to travel with. Keep it on full auto. This thing will do the job, and it's gonna film good stuff for an affordable price. You can get this thing and you'll be happy. You can mount this thing on nearly everything you want, as long as you get that little magic mount, get a tripod, a couple of accessories, you're set. But that's what I think ND filters are truly for. I have seen people on YouTube use these things as filters to try to make the video look better, but I think it's for when you're setting the settings to a point where it's unusable unless you have one of these things. That's exactly why I think these things are for. And if you disagree, let me know in the comments. If you agree, let me know you agree. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos. I'm really trying here to provide some good value for you guys so you guys leave these videos with a little bit more insight than you did before. Say hi to my dog. Hey doggy, say hi Indy. Such a good dog. Anyway, that's it for this video and we'll see you in the next one.